Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Now, I am going to review something that if you just glanced at it, you've got a MacBook Pro there. If you just glanced at it, you might say, oh, yeah, you got a MacBook Air, don't you? Except for the kind of the giveaway, the HP logo on the roof. This is HP's kind of, I think, response to the MacBook Air. It's their Spectre 13-inch Windows 8 Ultrabook. And like most Ultrabooks, there's certain things that all Ultrabooks have in common. This was a specification that Intel created for ultralight MacBook Air clones. It is a little heavier as the Ultrabooks go, 3 1/3 pounds. Nice screen, though, 1080p screen. And, of course, it's a touch screen, which I think is important for Windows 8. What's nice about this is I've not been a fan of HP's laptops and desktops because of so much of the crapware on here. And there is some junk on it, but it is fairly light in terms of crapware. There's McAfee antivirus, and you can see right now it's also saying it has a little pop-up that says your HP warranty expires in 2015. Would you like to add to that? That's a no. I don't want to see that the first month I got the computer, but you are. It does something that's unique in the Go away. Thank you. In the Ultrabook space, look at the size of that trackpad. That's because they've added ears on the trackpad to give it additional features, scroll bars, things like that. And one thing that I think makes Windows 8 a lot easier to use, you know that Windows 8 is touch focused. When you slide in from the side, you get the charms bar. Well, what's nice about this is you can also do that on the trackpad, and the ears will sense movement from either side, which I think makes this a little more intuitive to use. I do like the trackpad. It has that nice, smooth, glassy feel that really high-quality trackpads do. The keyboard is a little bit short on the throw, but it is backlit. It reminds me a lot of my Acer S7 keyboard. Not my favorite keyboard in the world, certainly not Mac quality or even Lenovo quality, but totally usable. And the build does feel really good. Nice brushed metal top and bottom, a little prone to fingerprints, but you know, I guess we're used to that in all of them. Good raised feet that make it very easy to keep this air-conditioned from the bottom. And one feature I really like, it comes with Lightroom. Now, I think that that's a very big differentiator when it comes to these Ultrabooks. There's a lot of Ultrabooks in this class. This one's roughly $1,000. But the fact that it comes with a $200 piece of software that really, by the way, shows off the screen beautifully. I mean, you can really get a sense of how good this screen is. We're getting a little bit of strobing here. That's because it's not quite 60 hertz, and our cameras are getting a little bit confused by it. But I think it really does an excellent job. So, and, you know, it's Windows 8. I can do things like that. Oh, how exciting. Windows 8.1, as a matter of fact. McAfee's on here. In fact, you'll see some of the HP stuff that they've preloaded it. I'm going to give them a pass because it includes Lightroom, and we can still uninstall all that other HP stuff. The keyboard is probably my biggest negative. For I think a notebook in this price range, it probably should be a little bit better. It's also a little thicker and heavier than my favorite ultralight in this category, the Acer S7. But good battery life. I got about 9 hours of battery life. Really, actually pretty excellent battery life, in fact. And one thing that makes this a little bit of a standout, it's got Beats audio. It turns out HP still has a deal with Beats through the end of 2015. Even though Apple owns them, they can still put that Beats logo there. And if you're curious what that adds to it, let me play, and I'll use Mike as the sound tester here. Let me play a little audio. See if I can get this thing to do what I want it to do. And you can tell me, Mike, if you think this sounds good or not.
Do you have any Dr. Dre in there?
That would be appropriate, wouldn't it?
Only till next year, then it won't play Dr. Dre.
I think we could play, if the censors will let us, we'll play a little Straight Outta Compton, maybe, something like that. How about some NWA here? This is the best of. That would actually be a good test because, frankly, the beats, the bass on this thing should sound really good. I'll turn it all the way up.
And Beats audio.
And Beats audio. It's not, I mean, look, it's a laptop. You run it, if you want to really rock the house, you're going to have better speakers attached to it. But it's still. He's going to be so great in the board meetings.
Yes.
Going forward at Apple Computer. I just can't wait to see how he takes over the place. So, pros and cons. On the pro side, really nice build. It's all metal. Feels good. Feels solid. It is, I think, for HP, a relatively unadulterated version of Windows 8, and I particularly like the fact that HP has decided to add Lightroom to this. It has a dedicated power on button, also a nice feature on machines of this type. Great 1920 by 1080p screen. All of that's good. Then the negative, and let's not forget the touchpad, which I think is quite well done. And I kind of like the little ears. It adds some functionality to it. On the negative side, the keyboard is a little bit short in the throws, so it's easy to make mistakes. The sound is good, but not great. And it's thicker and heavier than I'd like. There are lighter laptops in this category. Around $1,000, depending on how you configure it. This i5 is kind of in the middle of the price point. I think it's a definite buy if you're in the market for a Windows 8 Ultrabook. This is absolutely a solid player in that category. I would say look at the Acer S7 for an extra thin version. I didn't mention it also has SD card, USB ports, a full-size HDMI port. That could be handy if you like to play to a big screen TV, and a mini display port on the side. So a buy on the HP Spectre 13.